There is no such thing as accidental death. You see, it is God that gives us an appointment and says, time's up. Time's up. And when that happens, there's only two places that you will find yourself in eternity. In the presence of God, or not in the presence of God, which is called hell. Now, I cannot talk about purgatory because purgatory is not in the Bible. And if I talk about that, I have no knowledge of that because God has nothing to do with it. There's only two places that God gives from His Word that a man will go when they die. Either in heaven or that is in hell. The Bible says there are an assurance that you and me can be sure of heaven when we die. Number one, we need to accept that you and me are sinners before God. Romans 3:10, there is none righteous, no, not one, even me, and even you before God, we are not righteous. Why? For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. First thing that we need to accept tonight, I'm a sinner. I need help. In myself, I cannot do anything. Number two, we need to understand that if we would just let this go, there is a judgment in every sin. The Bible says, for the wages of sin is death. Now, death means separation. It's not end. I've been working with young people almost all my life. I become a preacher here full-time in the States. I've seen a lot of young people committed suicide because they think it's the end of life. Death is not the end of life. Actually, it is the beginning of eternity. Eternal heaven or eternal hell. Number one, you need to know that you are a sinner. Because unless you accept that, you will not need help and you will not need salvation. Number two, that when you die in your sin, when I die in my sin, there is a judgment. And the Bible says it is death in hell. And let me tell you something, God's people. Hell is not just a place, it is a place that God made for those that have rejected God. The Bible says it is a place of torment. But look at this. Jesus paid it all. He knew that in our sin, we could never do things right, nor be able to pay our salvation. You know what He did? He looked down from heaven. He saw our sin. He knew no one can save themselves. He